Angry guy here, and women are ending their existence to avoid accountability. Women are ending their existence to avoid accountability. Let's just go ahead and jump right into the video.
She's shamed to death over an embarrassing incident on a beach.
Please, don't do this to me. Are you serious?
That's the question swirling after this woman, a realtor, was found dead. Police body cam video starts with cops approaching 35-year-old Christina Revels Glick.
We got multiple calls about you.
Cops say witnesses saw her using an adult toy on the beach.
I'm sorry, I was stressed out.
She's put in cuffs.
This is ridiculous. What am I being arrested for?
Indecent exposure.
She says she thought she was by herself.
A family saw it. They had kids.
What? There was nobody around me.
She's led in cuffs through a restaurant near Savannah, Georgia, and taken to a patrol car. The incident was reported on the Smoking Gun website under the headline, "Woman Busted for Pleasure Session on Beach." She was said to have gone on a downward spiral following the report and ended her life. According to the coroner's report, the cause of death was gunshot wound to the head. The manner of death is certified as suicide. Neighbor Garrett White let local police into her apartment. He spoke to Les Trent about the beach incident.
You do not believe this was handled correctly and the police should not have been called?
No, because look what it led to. Somebody taking their life.
A sad end after a single indiscretion on the beach.
Please, don't do this to me. Are you serious?
Call me harsh, guys, but I don't feel so bad for her. I'm not crying. It's unfortunate. It's sad that, yes, this has happened, although I'm not crying. You know, guys, when you think about how things happen to men, when you think about how men live in society, you have to realize that no one actually cares about men. If it had been a man who was doing this, no one would care. In fact, they would be furious. They'd be saying, how dare he do these things, where there could be kids watching. There was a family. This guy was sick. Serves him right. The world's a better place without these types of people. However, if we look at the comments for this video, we can see that, oh, it's very different because it was a woman. Look at the comments. I'm surprised this doesn't happen more often. People have their most embarrassing moments broadcast to millions for entertainment. The whole thing is sick. I regret to say I watched this video a few days ago, desensitized to this type of thing, and went about my day without even considering the embarrassment she must have been going through. I'm ashamed that I am this jaded about social media, and I find this terribly tragic. May she rest in peace. Guys, are we going to ignore the factor that this woman was actually committing indecent exposure in public? What she did was wrong. She should absolutely be embarrassed of her actions. Of course, this is not justifying or making light of the fact that she has deleted herself from reality. But let's take into consideration that she is a grown adult. She is 35 years old. And while we are definitely going through a major mental health issue in Western society, especially America, she made this choice. No one forced her to. She knew it was wrong. And it's just interesting because she literally saw the police and she said, "What? I'm being arrested for doing this?" As though she did not know that doing something like that in public was a crime. Any adult knows that you're not supposed to do this. Every man consciously is well aware that if you do anything similar to this in public, you will go to jail. And you can face some serious time in jail if, for example, children were nearby and they witnessed this terrible act. And the judge will be absolutely furious. He's going to screech or she's going to screech at you. And yet all the sympathy is being thrown their way. Man, I feel bad for this lady's family. This is so sad. What an absolute crime to have this incident displayed publicly This happens with men all the time. Men who do this, they end up in jail. They end up in jail, and when they go to jail, the men in the jail waiting for them, if they find out that they were doing this in public, they're not going to treat them very nicely. And yet here we are with this woman who basically could not handle the simple shame of what happened. Bro, you have bigger problems than that. She had much bigger problems than that. The shame, can't do the crime, or rather, can't do the time, don't do the crime. And of course, we tried to be empathetic, but guys, this would be completely different if the roles were reversed. This is the ridiculous society that we live in today, in Western society, where women basically have a different set of rules for them. And when they are confronted with consequences, what do? They basically say, okay, well, it's time to leave this reality. It's time to, take a step back and see if maybe there's something else out there, because this reality isn't working for me. Guys, I'm telling you, women made their choice. They chose to live these lives. They chose to take these actions. No one forced them. They chose to do this, and now they have to face the consequences of their actions. And when they cannot handle those consequences, what do? They do Control Alt Delete. And of course, everyone wants to cry for them. Everyone wants to show sympathy towards them. And it's not that we should not show sympathy and empathy towards others, but she made this choice for herself. And I'm not crying for her. I'm absolutely not crying for her. She chose to end her existence because she could not handle what she had done and the embarrassment from it. But what bothers me is her level of entitlement, believing that somehow she should have been able to do this and get away with it, and being shocked that she was arrested. Oh my goodness, I'm arrested. Oh my goodness, I was walked through a restaurant. How terrible. And yes, it was placed on social media, but guess what? That's what happens with many arrests today. And no one would be crying for me or you. Like I said, there would be people literally using very bad words to describe us and saying good riddance to bad rubbish, couldn't have happened sooner enough. And if they had ever caught us before we went, they would have sent us on earlier. Men, I'm telling you, this is just another example of why you need to walk away from Western society, because we are not treated equally. This woman committed a terrible and despicable act, and here she is receiving the child treatment, the child gloves. Let's look at this comment. I remember watching the entire police video on the smoking gun. I can't imagine how embarrassing it must have been for her to have had her actions exposed on such a huge public platform. Yeah, it's called consequences. May she rest in peace. Can't imagine what a person goes through when dealing with their final moments. Yeah, maybe don't do it out in public next time. Oh, well, there won't be any next time in this situation. This is beyond sad. Why? I remember watching the entire police video weeks ago and feeling bad for her. Poor lady. She probably thought her life was over, because not only was the video of her arrest shared, but she probably would have to file as a person who commits these types of acts because of the public indecency charge. That's absolutely correct. That's absolutely correct. It's a possibility. And that comment actually got over 800 votes, 883 votes. If we click on this to see if there's any follow-ups, they said, it's not really sad. There's a kid fighting for their life right now, and she just threw hers away over cyberbullying. And someone says she didn't even expose. No, she did. What she was doing was indecent. Absolutely indecent. All right. And there are people like, shut up. Sadness Olympics, and threw hers away. You need to try harder. At the end of the day, she was playing with her, at the beach where families walk by. And now if a guy does that, he will be called a and maybe put in jail. I don't feel bad at all. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. 98 likes. And I agree with this person 100%. Okay? No one would be crying for this guy. People would be absolutely condemning this guy right now if he had done this. In fact, that's what happens each and every single day when these types of people do this. They do not get a pat on the back. They do not get to monopoly money. All right? This disgusts me, poor woman. But what right has anyone to publicly broadcast whatever mistakes she made? They do it to men all the time. The shock of the arrest itself is all that was needed to amend her behavior. But why publicize it? What benefit was it to her or society to publicize it? Extreme hypocrisy. I guarantee whoever is responsible has some skeletons in their closet. Shame on them. Yeah, this is not the worst of it. There are a lot of worse things to be known for when it comes to being a woman. For a man, of course, it's pretty terrible. Because like I said, when you head to prison, because you're probably going to go to prison for this, the guys waiting for you there are not going to treat you very nicely. On the other hand, she's given, a poor baby and a hug. Come on, bro. Come on. Someone said she shamed her parents, nobody talking about them. She absolutely did. She absolutely did. Absolutely disgusting. I am not crying. I am, so sad. Not really. Not really. Before the 2000s, you get caught and arrested, it's done. End of story. Life goes on. No one knew, and it gets put aside or forgotten. Today, it's on the World Wide Web forever. Condolences to her family. Honestly, here's the thing. I don't think that it's good that they're videotaping these things and recording them to put online. They should record every interaction with the public, but the fact that they're actually putting them online is hard. But then on the other hand, it's necessary to know what police interactions with the public are looking like so that we can monitor police behavior and actually at least try to control, acts that are not warranted by law enforcement. So I can understand both sides. Putting this on the internet, putting this for everyone to see, it's another arrest. And she was completely in the wrong, 100% in the wrong. And how dare her? How dare she get upset and act like she should not have been arrested, and she's surprised that she's being arrested for this as though she didn't know it was wrong or she thought it was a very small thing. Like, lady, do that in the privacy of your own home. What do you think you're doing on the beach doing this? Like, really, this is not heartbreaking. This is disgusting. Okay? And she should be ashamed of herself. But unfortunately, she saw herself as a victim of society. She could not take any accountability. Honestly, guys, I don't know. Honestly, I do. I do know, and I am sickened by her actions. What do you guys think regarding this? Women are ending their lives to avoid accountability. I want to hear your thoughts regarding this in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA and walking away. And cheers.